It's so nice to get into a DMT section with y'all. We haven't done it in so long. First question. How do you support or show up for your partner who battles depression? I think that when it comes to like actual clinical mental health, like that is such a nuanced conversation that ends up being not only one with your partner, but with their health, with their healthcare provider, right? Because everyone goes through depression differently. Like I was saying, how, well, I have said before, I'll talk about it later, but like how, like I had a depressive moment where a friend like came over and I just wanted them to like just be with me in the space. And they just, that, like that was, I maybe that was like too intimate for them, or maybe that was just like not, maybe they had it in their mind like what they were coming over to do and that just didn't fit it, so they just did what they wanted to do, but like it was absolutely like not okay. um I think depression as it relates to someone who is actually clinically depressed is one thing. And then there is depression for people who go through like depressive episodes, as it relates to the seasons, episodes as it relates to triggers, etc. And I think that the best version of showing up is really trying your best to understand their cycles and understand their solutions, because when you're in a depressive state, what happens is the things that normally make you feel good, you are kind of in an irrational state, and those things feel almost like impossible to achieve. So like I can tell you, like, music makes me feel good, period. Like a song can change my mood. But when I would be in a depressive state, it would feel like insurmountable for me to play a song that would put me in a good place. And almost as if like there was a masochism that was keeping me in the depression, even though I knew there were things that could get me out of it. And I remember being in that state during the pandemic. And I've talked about this before, but listening to this podcast by this wonderfully delightful person, Jessica Lanyado, who is a psychic and an astrologist. And my homegirl had sent me her podcast because in this particular episode, like it was just speaking to my homegirl in like a very poignant way. So she just sent it to me to check it out. And in that episode, she was saying, do not abandon yourself. Do not abandon yourself. And that to me is what happens in depression. You abandon yourself. Like you succumb to the weight of the feelings that are no longer in your control. If it's physically burdensome, like it actually like aches, it hurts, and you're just stuck in the upside down. And so I think in showing up for your partner, it's you being able to know like what are the things that actually get them out of that, and then doing your best effort to present those things at a time when they may not be able to receive them, or sorry, at a time when they may not be able to provide them for themselves. um the other way you can show up for your partner who is depressed is to know that it's not about you, which is very hard for some people, because you're connected. My mom used to think that my depressive modes were about her, and it's like, this ain't got shit to do with you. Like this is just something I'm hopefully is a phase, but is something that's in me, and it's not a reflection of your parenting. It's not a reflection of you being here or whatever. Like it's a thing that that's a part of my experience and my existence. And when you make it about you, you're now putting that depressed person in another place of burden than they already have, because when you're depressed, you also don't want to burden anybody with your depression. That's the other thing. You feel bad about being depressed because nobody likes a negative Nancy, a Debbie Downer. So you keep it to yourself. And that shit ends up, being more depressing because now it's more alone. So I think that's another way for you to show up for your partner, is by letting them know that this is not about you, and you just letting them get through their process And I am not going to say that that's an easy thing.